Language is often treated as a tool for communication, but it is much more than that. You know, language is also a framework for perception. It influences what we notice, what we remember, what we value, and even how we experience reality. Mm. Like take the example of the Pirahã people. This is a small indigenous group in the Amazon. And it has fascinated linguists because aspects of their language challenge assumptions about how all human languages must work. Can you imagine these people? Their language has no color, it has no creation myth, it has no future, neither does it have a past. Their way of speaking raises a profound question. If language shapes perception, then what kind of reality is being created by the language we use every day? Most modern languages are filled with concepts that pull us away from the present moment. We constantly speak about tomorrow, next year, retirement, history, legacy, success, failure, and countless abstract ideas. We count, we categorize, we compare, we measure, and we label nearly everything around us. You know, language allows us to mentally travel through time. We revisit the past through memory and we project ourselves into the future through imagination. And this ability has helped humanity build civilizations, create technology, and preserve knowledge. But, there is always a but. It has also created anxiety, regret, comparison, and endless mental noise. You know, the Pirahã people have often been discussed because their language appears to emphasize immediate experience and direct observation. So, whether or not language alone creates this worldview, it reminds us that what we repeatedly talk about becomes what we repeatedly pay attention to. You know, like for example, a person who constantly speaks of scarcity begins to see scarcity everywhere. A person who constantly speaks of opportunity becomes more aware of opportunity. Words are not just description of reality. They are filters through which reality is interpreted. You know, psychologically, language influences thought patterns. The words available to us shape how we organize experience. If our internal dialogue is dominated by fear, comparison, and judgment, then our perception of life becomes colored by those themes. The mind tends to inhabit the worlds it repeatedly describes. Language can become a prison, but it can also become a doorway to greater awareness. You know, spiritually, this idea points towards presence. If you look into many traditions, they teach that suffering often arises from becoming trapped in stories about the past or the future. Now, language can strengthen those stories, but it can also help us transcend them. You know, the deepest reality may exist before words, before labels and concepts. Always remember, language is a map, not the territory. It helps us navigate life, but it is not life itself. In short, the language you think in reveals the reality you are most often inhabiting. Words shape attention and perception. They can either pull us away from the present or guide us back to it. So the question is not only what language you speak, but what language speaks through you every day. Your reality may be less a reflection of the world around you and more a reflection of the stories your mind continually tells about it. You know, my people, hail. Hail.